Hello there. So I'm going to show a video of what I've got going on here. So you can see that I have a GM column right here. I have the shaft, tilt steering. Most people, when they have a problem where they have a wobbly GM steering column, is they go through the process, get everything out, get all the way down to here, and they tighten up these inverted Torx bolts. There's 4 of them there, and they tighten up against this bracket. So I did that about a year ago, and when I did that, I went through the process. Everything was working fine, but then probably about 2 months later, it started getting wobbly again, and I thought, oh, I was an idiot. I never put Loctite on it. That's my fault. So I figured I'm gonna have to take it apart. Well, the other day I was driving it and the steering wheel almost ended up in my lap. And the problem is not that these are tight or not. What the problem actually is this mounts to this shaft here. It basically goes right on top, right like this. So I'm gonna just put that there, okay? And the 4 bolts go in, and this bracket piece goes on the back side of that. Okay, I'm going to take this out. This bracket piece ends up in here, okay, like that. The problem is there are 2 pieces that are on top of here, and I'm going to put them back, that when you squeeze it together, they break. So let me put the first one in. And now I'm going to put the second one in. And hopefully I can do this one-handed. All right, and you can see how they're supposed to hold that in. These little ears get slid in from the backside and get held. I'm gonna take this off and they get held here, okay? So I have to go and I have to weld this on at these 3 spots. This backside is open because this is used on all kinds of cars, so that's for an automatic. This is a Jeep, it's a 1989 Wrangler. So floor shift manual. So my thought was, I'm gonna do that. Now I was told that the outside of this has to be perfect. And the reason it has to be perfect is you have this piece right here that goes right over top of it, all right? It slides on and it needs to fit in perfectly. Otherwise it won't go back on. So I'm gonna weld it from the outside, grind it down, maybe weld a little bit more on the inside. But I think since I don't have an automatic, I think when I put this back on, I'm gonna tack weld this back into place just to keep it where it's supposed to be and give it a little bit more support. So make up the gap between the bottom of this ring, which goes up right here, and you can see there's a gap there, okay? I'm gonna weld that in so that way I don't have that gap anymore, kind of fuse the whole piece together. I imagine they did this because this is just a rolled piece of steel that's like spot welded together. I imagine they did it because it's just cheaper. They don't have to weld something together. So, but one other thing to note, when you put this back together, if you've taken it apart as far as I have, where you've taken the ball out, okay, one thing to note is there's a flat side on this. Oops, I wasn't pointing there. There's a flat side on this. This is where the bolt goes. This needs to go in up. So when you take that out, you turn the entire wheel 90 degrees, okay? And then you take the ball out, and then when you go to put this back in, you have to turn it back that 90 degrees. So this is face up. You need to be aware of that. So that's where this flat spot comes in. Also, just buy this right away. It's the bottom bearing. This one's all shot. You can hear it. Since it's out in the weather, it's just trash. Otherwise, I replaced the switch. Everything should be good. We'll see what happens when I put it all back together. Best of luck, everybody. I'm gonna just do a shot here, that way in case somebody has some questions. All right, have a good one.